Complexity. Complexity is the enemy of your freedom. Now, look, we can't reduce everything from complex to simple in our lives, but the more we can understand where we're going when we're trying to build something, to grow something, what we're trying to create in our lives, which is always the motivation we should have. We should all be creators and orchestrators and relevant and purposeful in everything we do. That's what life's about. But be careful what you build, because what you build, you're going to have to live with. I'm speaking of businesses. I'm speaking about financial iterations and convolutions that are tied to so many areas of unknowns, uncertainty. The more complex the systems that we create or put upon ourselves because we think it's the right thing to do. We think we need to get involved in this and that, and we end up with partnerships. We end up with complicated systems and processes and things that we don't even understand, and therefore we have to have other people that are involved to help us keep the plate spinning. I mean, that's part of growing a business. I get it. But the more you're dependent upon other people, and we have to depend on people or systems, the more vulnerable we are. That's where systems or people can hold you hostage. Now, you can avoid that and still build with some level of independence from those people or systems holding you hostage by what? Keeping enough margin in your life, enough cash flow margin, personal business. The problem is too often we get head over heels over our ski tips, thinking we need to grow as fast as possible. It will take on oftentimes unmitigated risk. We'll take on too much debt leverage, thinking, well, I can outgrow this. Well, maybe you can, maybe you can't. The marketplace has changed dramatically in just the last 2 or 3 years. We used to have the low cost of capital, cheap interest rates, which allowed people to pile on debt left and right and really suffer no consequence. But today it's different. Today the model has changed, and we have to be much more careful and prudent about overexpanding, going too fast, reducing our margin, because margin is safety. Margin is what allows you to get through the gaps, the downturns, the recessions, or when something happens inside your own model or your own life, because those things do. Too much debt leverage, variable rate loans, growing too fast, having too much complication leaves you vulnerable, because if it falls back on you, then you've lost your freedom. And the whole point to creating a life is creating a life of freedom. Yes, there's a sacrifice period always to get started, to get moving. You want to transfer your earning power, your trading time for dollars as much as you can into equity, into other people, into multiple income streams, and that's what sets you apart. But be careful how fast you go. Watch yourself, because you can get head over heels, and I've seen too many people go through downturns and corrections with the best intentions. They got to start over again. If you're young enough, you can do it. If you're older in life, you can't afford to start over. Be very, very careful about how fast you go and the exuberance that you might follow just because the marketplace is pushing you there. I've watched this happen over and over again, and the sentiment of the market is what drives too many people late, Johnny-come-latelys, coming too late to jump in, thinking they can do it too, and they find out it doesn't work. The model's broken. Be careful about what you do in growing. Complexity is your enemy. I'll say it again. Be very careful about creating too much complexity, too much interdependence among other people and systems, because if you do that, that interdependence can fall back and cause you to slide back down the slope. Not the place you want to go.